Now on Denver 7 News. Denver's popular e-bike program is shifting back into gear. Hear about the new efforts to bring those discounts to the rest of the state.
It's the question we all have right now. When will prices go down? Well, we're getting a new picture of where the economy is realistically headed. And there's a new push to get contaminated properties in historically disadvantaged areas cleaned up. How they could be redeveloped into everything from housing to healthcare centers.
And a major traffic shift is coming to downtown Denver. What you need to know as the Central 70 project completes an important step. Thank you for joining us at 4. I'm Jessica Porter. The city of Denver has reopened its e-bike voucher rebate program to another 2,000 applicants. Half of those vouchers are for $400. All Denver residents 16 and older are eligible for those. The other half are reserved for lower income residents who will receive a $1,200 voucher. Colorado legislatures also passed a new law this year putting $12 million into a statewide rebate program.
The legislations it mandates that it's for low and moderate income Coloradans. So we're just kind of looking at what the program guidance is going to look like and what the tiers are going to be. But I do want to make sure that the rebate amount is enough to kind of offset the cost of the bike.
Denver's rebates are on a first-come, first-served basis. So if you missed out on this one this time, the next round will be released on August 1st. DIA is slowly getting back to normal this afternoon after major delays last night. According to the website flightaware.com, there have been about 170 delays so far today, and that's a huge drop from the more than 600 delays reported yesterday. Airport officials say high winds and thunderstorms were to blame. Some planes were stuck on the tarmac, diverted to other states, or had to circle, waiting for the weather to improve. Colorado continues to lead the country in the number of car thefts per capita in the country. Tonight, Aurora City Council will vote on an ordinance that would create harsher punishment for those committing the crime. The ordinance would require a 60-day minimum sentence for first-time offenders, and repeat car thieves would get more time. Aurora City Councilman Dustin Zvonek introduced that ordinance, and he says after state lawmakers decriminalized crimes like car theft, local leaders were forced to get involved.
We have to do something. Our residents are demanding us to do things to make our community safe.
Zvonek says the Arapahoe and Adams County Sheriff's offices are on board with the ordinance. We're told August is the earliest it could take effect. Also in Aurora, the city has new camera systems designed to stop drivers from speeding. The pilot program is designed to help police monitor speed limits in neighborhoods and school zones. Violations are reviewed before anyone is cited, and the city says it will issue warnings for the first month of the program before giving out tickets and fines. The program starts next month. Well, if you've been dealing with that Central 70 construction project for the last few years, we have some good news. This weekend, a major traffic switch is happening in central Denver involving I-70. Right now, both directions of traffic are using the westbound tunnel between Brighton and Colorado Boulevards. Friday night, all traffic will be detoured while crews realign the interstate. When Central 70 reopens the following Monday, eastbound traffic will use the new tunnel. Traffic expert Jason Luber went into the new tunnel and tells us the second tunnel is actually opening early.
The original time frame called for traffic to be in its final configuration late this year, but construction is ahead of schedule and I-70 should be in its final configuration this fall. Now this weekend, it's going to be a big part of getting into that new configuration as eastbound I-70 will move here into the new permanent tunnel, and that's me right there touring the new tunnel with project director Bob Hayes. I asked Bob how they managed to get so far ahead.
That viaduct demolition was critical path for our project, and we couldn't build this until that was done. That finished about a month and a half sooner than we thought it would, and so it's been able to accelerate really everything downstream of it in order to get us ready for this switch in mid-July.
Now, Bob told me there is a lot of technology packed inside this new tunnel. Since it's basically identical to the westbound side, the installation of the systems here went smoother the second time around. Now, all this week, I'll be looking at that safety technology and how it works, the lighting, the deluge fire system, the speakers where they talk to drivers, the ventilation system, and of course the closure of I-70. That'll be happening this weekend. I'm Jason Luber, Denver 7.
A new COVID Omicron variant has scientists worried. BA 2.75 is gaining ground in India, and a few cases have started showing up in other countries. including the U.S. Scientists say the variant may be able to spread rapidly and also get around immunity from vaccines and previous infection. They haven't determined if this could cause more serious disease than the other Omicron variants. The U.S. government is getting ready for when the next COVID vaccine is expected to be approved. The Department of Health and Human Services says today we'll be getting 3.2 million doses of the Novavax shot once regulators authorize it. Now, FDA advisors voted recently to recommend that the agency sign off on the shot for adults. Novavax is expected to wrap up its required quality testing in the next few weeks, and it's more of a traditional type of vaccine compared to the mRNA technology used in Pfizer and Moderna shots. Well, testing for monkeypox is expanding. Starting today, Mayo Clinic laboratories will be accepting specimens to test from anywhere in the country. It expects to be able to do up to 10,000 tests per week. The CDC anticipates more commercial labs will start doing testing for monkeypox this month. Cesarean sections can save lives in certain situations, but the rate at which they're being performed in the U.S. is raising concern among doctors. The last 2 years saw a big jump in first-time C-sections. That's according to the CDC. Overall, they made up 22.4% of all births in 2021. That's the highest number reported since this data became available back in 2016.
Everybody who takes care of pregnant women has been worried about the rise in cesarean delivery rate.
Dr. Erica Werner is a high-risk obstetrician. She says while the data is concerning to her, she's not surprised by it. During that time, she says doctors also saw an increase in risk factors for C-sections.
We've seen rising obesity rates, more and more gestational diabetes, which is diabetes in pregnancy, probably even more high blood pressure in pregnancy.
The C-section is the most common surgery performed in the U.S. It's also a major abdominal procedure that comes with risks. Now, Dr. Werner says women who deliver by cesarean have a higher chance of blood loss, infection, and complications in future pregnancies.
Absolutely the safest way to have a baby is a vaginal delivery. The contractions help to squeeze out the fluid in the baby's lungs, so there's slightly better short-term respiratory outcomes with a vaginal delivery. And for the moms, there's huge benefits. There's lower rates of blood clots, faster recovery time.
She's hoping the new data will encourage providers to double down their efforts to help women avoid C-sections in the future. The cost of college and the debt behind it is getting more attention right now. One big-name school recently went loan-free. We're looking into what it would take for others to follow suit.
And coming up, the group that owns the Broncos is adding a new member. Which former politician with Denver ties will soon own part of the team? Next.